Welcome back to the It's UATL podcast, your guide to Black culture in Atlanta. I'm Naja Parker.
I'm Deasia Page.
And I'm Nedra Roan.
Okay, on today's show, it's Masters Week. Yes, for Black people playing golf. We're going to be talking to Atlanta native and Her Shot Golf CEO, Bria Janelle, about how she's bringing more of us to the greens. Plus, we'll tell you why we can't stop thinking about Brandy getting her flowers. But first, it's time for the rundown of Black culture news in ATL and beyond making headlines. Deasia, what's first?
Well, I'll tell y'all who won't be chasing waterfalls anytime soon. Miss Chili, Rosanda Thomas.
Full name.
Yeah, government name, because that was helpful in what I'm about to say. Obviously 1/3 of the supergroup TLC, which was formed here. Recently, it was revealed that Chili donated like 17 times to Trump-related campaigns.
17? Wow.
17 different payments.
Okay.
And I think The Independent was the first to report this news. And of course that, sent everyone into a frenzy online. And also because TLC and In Vogue and Salt and Pepper just announced a joint tour recently, probably like a few days before this news came out, actually. Yep. So it was like, are we boycotting this tour?
Oh, my goodness.
What's the verdict? I mean, should we? Do we need to? What do you think?
So Chili did respond because there was a bunch of backlash. And also there were reports about her reposting a conspiracy video of like Michelle Obama being trans or something like that, which is like, how did that even get?
Reposted that on her socials?
Yeah. And so in response, Chili posted a statement and a video. She said, "I want to be clear, I am not MAGA and do not support any of the many policies that are causing great harm to the American people. I made a mistake too many make. I did not read the fine print. I thought I was supporting causes against human trafficking and for veterans."
She also at some point commented on her slippery thumbs, which I thought was hilarious.
Because she said she was like not tech savvy, and that was the reasoning for her accidentally reposting that.
What is a slippery thumb?
I don't get what that has to do with anything.
Yeah. And so when this happened, I actually reached out to TLC's rep, who was very responsive, because I was like, well, given that she gave, 17 times, how can it be true that, she was giving to support veterans and anti-human trafficking causes, especially considering that the campaign she donated to don't solely, serve those causes.
Right.
And she sent me an email saying, as you probably are aware, political campaigns focus on emotional triggers, and for Chili, those triggers are children and veterans. I also want to point out that her card was on auto withdrawal, so while it looks like she gave repeatedly, that was her card being charged numerous times. And that was kind of news because no one has really reported that,
Wait, but she was unaware that she had an auto withdrawal going.
Well, that's when I responded. I said, "Thanks for your swift response. I appreciate that." One more question: FEC records show that Chili donated 17 times to those 3 committees in 2024. Considering you said her card was on auto pay, do you know how many of the 17 payments were not auto pay? And she sent me like a 4 to 5 paragraph statement, kind of reiterating what Chili said, but not really answering my question. So
she can't answer the question.
Yeah. And then also there was also screenshots of Chili like previously liking posts promoting Donald Trump in some way or condoning him. So
and other conservative leaning people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think it's interesting the way people have, sort of dug back into her past, pulled receipts there as well. Like her, during the BLM movement, her saying, no, all lives matter. And then backtracking on that. It seems like she's going through the same thing again here with this.
Yeah, it's I think the tour has a lot to do with it too. Yeah. I think maybe if this tour wasn't happening, then maybe she probably wouldn't have responded, because the core, audience for this, TLC Salt and Pepper In Vogue tour would be like Gen X, Black women, and obviously Black women are very loyal. Yeah,
right here, raising hand.
Have that very loyal demographic to the Democratic Party.
Yeah,
like overwhelmingly loyal. So
it was interesting too when Cheryl Salt James came out in defense of Chile.
Oh, what'd she say?
Oh, well, she said that, we need to stop, harassing her. This is trolling and blah, 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 whatever, basically. Okay. I'm totally paraphrasing. But I also got the sense that she was either trying to protect her interests in the tour or that she too might be, she might have some conservative leanings too. Who knows?
T-Boss has not said anything.
Silence, right? Yeah.
So I don't know about that tour. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that probably will affect ticket sales.
Yeah, back to Nedra's question from the top. Are we going to the concert, or do you get the sense that people are going to not buy a ticket now that they kind of know where Chile stands? Or maybe I'm still kind of confused about where she stands, but because of this incident?
I think that's the point. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't going anyway, but I was
excited when I saw the commercial, but I don't think I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, in other news about donations, Tyler Perry has made a $250,000 donation to TSA workers. He's made this donation in Visa gift cards, and he has to do a bit of a workaround because government employees aren't allowed to accept certain gifts that are tied to their roles. He initially tried to give out some cash, and then was like, not on my watch. So the workaround were the Visa gift cards, and that has been accepted by TSA, and they can keep this. So, good for Tyler Perry for helping out when the government didn't. For he's gonna pay people, whether it's philanthropic efforts or hiring Black people for his a million shows that he's got. He gonna get you paid.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is, of course, that TSA workers started getting their pay reinstated, so this is kind of like a bonus. Right?
Yes, and the government still needs to be better.
To do better.
About not having TSA suffer in the midst of their mess. Yeah. But y'all are right. Tyler Perry has donated before. Just last year in November, he donated $1.5 million to a lot of organizations like Atlanta Community Food Bank and Meals on Wheels. So this is what he does. He's not stingy with it.
Right. I wish I could walk into Kroger and see Tyler Perry standing at the gift card thing and buying $250,000.
No, right? What does it look like? What does it look like?
He was at the I was at the New Edition concert recently. He was there. I saw him and Chris Tucker. So he be out in the.
Oh, he was with Chris Tucker?
Well, no. Sorry.
Like,
Chris Tucker was in. No. Chris Tucker was in one section. I saw Tyler Perry in another section. But he'd be out in these
Atlanta streets.
Wouldn't be too hard to find, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, go Atlanta TSA workers. I'm glad you got a little more money in your pocket.
Go TSA.
What else we got on the list?
So it looks like Georgia's time zone might be changing. This, as y'all know, has been a longstanding debate, right? For many, many years, we've been trying to figure out what we should do about daylight savings time. Senators in Georgia have passed a bill to make daylight savings permanent. And we are now moving to the Atlantic time zone if the House passes this bill. And it will put us, interestingly enough, permanently on Atlantic time.
Okay.
Now, this is where things get interesting because, of course, no one wants to switch, right? Everybody's tired of flipping the clocks back and forth. But the whole debate was over, should we go to the daylight savings time permanently or should we stay on standard time permanently? The difference, of course, is that if you're on what they're proposing, the time that they're proposing, you get more daylight in the evening versus staying on standard time, which means that we are more aligned with the natural flow of the sun. So our circadian rhythms are actually better suited to not what they're proposing.
Interesting.
It is interesting. And it's even more interesting when you think about, I wrote a column about this a year ago, why we even have daylight savings to begin with, which of course was because of World War II, and they were trying to conserve energy. That was in 1918? Or wait, did I say two? I mean, World War I. Yeah, so it was 1918. So for more than 100 years, we've been kind of holding on to this thing that was created 100 years ago, 100 plus years ago.
For something more specific that doesn't really
For something
apply
that had nothing to do with our health or wellness or anything. And I would argue that we're making the decisions that we're making now for the same reason, because it's really part of the reason we haven't been able to make this change before is because we have to get it approved. And the approval has to go through the Department of Transportation. Why, you might ask? What do they have to do with anything? Because it's all about commerce. It's all about business. It's all about, things that have, again, nothing to do with human health and our natural rhythms. So on the one hand, I'm happy that we can look forward to not flipping our clocks. On the other hand, I feel like this wasn't the right time to land on. Like, we should have done it the other way. We should have stayed with standard instead of making this permanent. Does that all make sense? It's a lot.
Yeah, I'm trying to follow. But, I don't, it just seems pretty arbitrary. It always seemed pretty arbitrary to me. I'm like, who?
It is. Yeah. So. No, it is, because it's not based on anything other than like social thing. Like, it's, so some of the arguments were, if we stay with standard time, then businesses have to close earlier because the sun goes down. When you're off of work, you're not going to be able to go shopping. So it was, retail and, sporting venues that really wanted us to be on that time zone because they got more hours after the working day and could stay open longer. People would go out and shop in the light, in sunlight, but they might not do it in the dark.
Gotcha.
So, and then parents were arguing that their kids are going to have to stand at the school bus and wait in the dark, but, it's... Yeah. What do you do? What's right? What do y'all think? What's right?
So the standard time would be offering us more sunlight, more day, right?
No.
The other way around. See, that's why I'm messing it up.
It's very confusing. So basically, standard time, what would be standard, which would be for us Eastern Standard, right? Okay. It would mean that we have daylight when daylight's supposed to happen in the morning. So it might be earlier in the morning than some people want.
More of the natural flow, like you were saying.
But it's when the sun, like, ideally, the sun is at the top of the sky at noon, right? And so when you're on standard time, it flows more concurrently with that.
Gotcha.
When you push it back, which is what we're in now and proposing and waiting to see what happens, then you get the daylight at the end of the day because you've delayed the time until it doesn't make sense now.
Yes.
Right. So when you get off work, there's still sun.
So we can go shop and spend some money we may not even have.
Right.
Okay. Thank you for breaking that down because I really was confused. Also was glad that you got this topic because I was like, I'm not going to be able to explain it. And I couldn't really form an opinion around it because I didn't understand.
I think that's where a lot of people are, though, because, first of all, I don't think people understand the history of it. I don't think people understand why we're even here to begin with. Like, why did we even start changing the clock? And that's why, because we had to conserve energy. And so I feel like when you look back through, history, it's our business interests that have really dictated this thing that to me shouldn't be necessarily dictated by business. So it's the energy industry, it's the retail and transportation and commerce that have really dictated how we're doing this. And I feel like that's why they're pushing this particular decision, because it is more beneficial to our commerce and business interests.
Because aren't there some health impacts to all of this?
Yes, there are. Yeah. Okay. So, obviously, if you're following what the sun naturally does, then it's more aligned with your body rhythm. And so it's funny because people are saying, well, when we change it, it's going to be fine. Well, yeah, because you'll be staying on the same thing. You won't be flipping back and forth, but you're not on the thing that we would normally be on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We're not on where we would normally be aligned with the rhythm of our bodies.
Okay. All right.
So a lot of health experts are like, yeah, we really should be on permanent standard, not on permanent daylight savings or permanent Atlantic. And also, if other states don't align with us, then we're really going to be in an interesting situation because, there'll be periods of time where, we're 2 hours apart from Alabama. Which
in Alabama right there.
Makes no sense, right? There'll be a period where we are the only state in the country on Atlantic time. So the next closest would be in Canada. It's kind of crazy. It's to me, it makes things more confusing.
I agree.
Yeah, don't give me no pop quiz about this.
Oh, please don't. Because are we the only state that's doing this?
Oh, okay. Hawaii and Arizona.
Gotcha.
But we will be the only state on the East Coast, right?
Let's be clear. So Hawaii and Arizona are on standard time. You can elect to stay on standard and not flip back and forth, which they did.
Yeah.
That's not what we're doing. We're doing something different.
Jesus Christ. Now, see, don't give me no pop quiz about this because immediately. Because I got what you said, but I also like,
yeah,
I'm listening.
It's easy to get confused.
Yeah,
it is. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what they decide. Yeah. There was Gallup, the organization that does a lot of polling, way back in 1946. They started polling Americans on how they felt about this, and people overwhelmingly did not want to move to the switch, and stay there. They wanted to be on standard, but whatever.
Well, cheers to not setting the clock back and forth.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No Aaliyah there, right?
No Aaliyah there. Oh, man. Okay, it is time to get into our main segment today, where UATL reporter Brooke Howard, Deasia, and I sit down with Her Shot Golf CEO, Bria Janelle.
So today's guest is a straight up sports powerhouse. She's a hooper. She hosts Notre Dame football games. She keeps energy high as the in-game host for the Chicago Bulls and the Atlanta Dream. Basically, if there's a mic in the crowd, Bria Janelle is in the building. But Bria isn't just the voice you hear in the arena. She's also the CEO and founder of the Bria Janelle Foundation, where she's all about putting young people on through sports, especially girls golf and basketball, and creating real opportunities for young women and at-risk kids. From her girls golf program, Her Shot, to junior WNBA clinics with the Atlanta Dream, Bria's work blends game skills with life skills, helping kids build confidence, community, and pathways to their future. So thank you for joining us today, Bria.
Thank you. Can I take y'all with me wherever I go? Because I'll let y'all. This has been great. All right. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. It is full swing of NBA mode. So it is back to managing 2 seasons at one time in 2 different states.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let's go all the way to the beginning. Like, what is your relationship, with sports, and how did that form in your childhood?
Oh man, my relationship with sports runs deep. My godbrothers have really been my inspiration behind everything that I do. Todd and Tyler, we started playing sports. I think when we were like 3 or 4 years old. It started off with basketball at Indian Creek, and I just wanted to be around them, and so I wanted to do whatever my godbrothers were doing, and so we went from playing basketball to then playing baseball at Wade Walker Park. Played softball and played basketball up through high school, and then played basketball in college at a Division II school it was Mars Hill College at the time, but now it's called Mars Hill University in North Carolina. And so I've been around the game for a very, very long time. And so it's kind of been in my DNA to really just, I still want to be around the game, but just not play now. And so that's kind of been my knack into how I got into the sports industry.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you mentioned like you have your godbrothers and they kind of inspired you, but what kept you so involved within sports and being so active?
Oh, my mom. My mom was like, listen, we're playing sports. You're not going to be that problem child.
And her mom is in the building.
Yes, my mom here. So for me, it was just like my mom just making sure that she always provided an opportunity for me to be in sports. I'm an only child. So for me, my teammates have always been like siblings to me. And so sports has just been that thing that's taught me a lot of discipline. It's taught me a lot of life lessons, how to show up and be your true authentic self, take accountability. And the lessons in sports that I've learned, I'm like, I wish every kid learned these sports. And, as I've gotten older, I realized it's like, oh man, it's like 90% of C-suite executives come from a sports background. So, for me, it's just been like, all right, cool. Like, let me just keep at it.
Well, what have sports taught you? Like you're saying, like a lot of them are C-suite executives.
Yeah.
Like what have kids learned by being involved?
Oh, man. I think sports teaches you so many different life skills. It shows you accountability. It teaches you teamwork. It teaches you how to be authentic, right? I think for me, I really learned what sports meant when I went to college and played basketball. And it was like, okay, my mom can't make excuses for me as well. I can't show up to practice, right? I have to show up as my full self. I have to be in shape. For me, sports helped me ultimately walk in my purpose because it created a pathway for me to do something outside of keeping a structured path, I'd say. So that's what sports has done for me.
Now, you've named a couple of sports that you've played.
Yeah.
What ball haven't you touched?
Right.
Oh, man. Well, anything that requires a whole lot of running, like track and field or cross country, I will never do that. Or soccer. But yeah, golf, I picked that up when I got into my 30s. And so golf has been that thing.
I'm sorry. You say like you picked up golf in your 30s and I'm like, 30s where?
Yeah, right. deep in my 30s. Yeah,
I would not have guessed that. I was going to say like maybe 20.
No, I'm deep in my 30s.
Okay.
I'm deep in my 30s. Yeah. Yeah. Closer to 40 side, but
we would have never known.
No. Yeah. That's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. I appreciate that.
Staying active, man.
That's what sports can do for you.
Now let's get into your Bria Janelle Foundation. Tell us all about it.
The Bria Janelle Foundation, it was something that my mom and I started during the pandemic, right? When we were walking in the studio, we talked about resting. People were always like, oh, it's a lot going on. I'm like, I remember when I had nothing going on. And so for me, the Bria Janelle Foundation was really just an opportunity to give back. Like my mom, as a kid, oh my God, I feel like I've been volunteering before I was born. My mom, whether it's showing up at like children's shelters to being able to volunteering at church, it's always been important to give back. And my mom has instilled that into me from the very beginning. And so with the Bria Janelle Foundation, like I was like, my mom and I were having a conversation one day, and she's always said, I want to build a school or wells in Africa or just something where it's a place to give back. But for me, I'm like, there's kids right here on this side that are in our city that we can impact. And I'm like, what do I take my love for entertainment and sports? Because a lot of people don't know I was in radio before I got into really just being in sports full time. And so I'm like, okay, let me take the best of both worlds and then apply it to children. So during the pandemic, as you guys know, we all had a lot of time to sit down and reflect. And my thing was like, what happens if sports never come back, right? And I didn't realize how many people I touched or was around until all my events started getting canceled. So if sports never comes back, because I didn't realize how many thousands of people I stood in front of until it was like 5,000 and it was like 500 and it was like 50 and 25 and nothing. It was like, oh, these are all my jobs. Yeah. So it's like, what happens if it never comes back? And so I just wanted to have a plan 8.5 while my A was still working. And so that's why we started the foundation. And it was just really to give back to kids and just teach them, give them access and resources to opportunities that I had, being able to be in one of the top private schools in the country, being able to play sports, being able to travel the world. And I'm like, there's kids that are my community that don't get a chance to experience that. So we did a community day there, ended up winning Partner of the Year for the county, which is awesome. And I'm like, okay, this is a county that I gave back to, but I want to focus on more young girls. And that's kind of where we honed in our focus. And Her Shot was birthed from that. Just a random conversation that I had with somebody, and here we are.
Right. And so the foundation, that was launched in what, 2020?
2022.
Okay.
Yes.
And then Her Shot came shortly after.
2024.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
just last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's still, but we've done a lot of people like, y'all started last year. I'm like, yeah, we have. It's just, when I put my mind to something, I'm like, oh, it's going to go. Yeah. It's going to go.
Now, I had a chance to come out and see the program and see the girls in action, learning golf. Tell us more about the program and what they get to learn.
For sure. So Her Shot, can I give you kind of like the backstory as how it started?
Of course.
Okay, so people are always like, why golf? A lot of people don't know that I am the granddaughter of the first African-American to become a Green Jacket at Augusta National. So my grandfather, his name is Ron Townsend. He became the first African-American member in 1990. And I've seen what he's done. And my mom
and break that down too. Like, what does it mean to have a green jacket for us non-golf?
So how was he able to get it? How was it beforehand?
So my grandfather, he's one of my greatest inspirations. He basically started in the mailroom and worked his way up the corporate ladder to retire as a president of Gannett Television. And I remember sitting in boardrooms and board meetings at 4 years old and sitting at the head of the table. So I've always seen myself in these spaces, and he's opened these opportunities. And, when I used to go to Augusta, when a Green Jacket is like a member, right? So a member, either you've done something really great just in your career, or you're a billionaire, or you've played a professional sport. And so for him being the first, he works in the media side of it. And what he's done is just helping amplify the careers of like Oprah, helping Bob and Sheila Johnson help launch BET. So like he's done a lot of great things with people in media. And so it's a no-brainer when they're looking to diversify that my granddad was a top candidate. And so that's how he became a Green Jacket. And
that's amazing. This is in your DNA.
This is my DNA.
Media,
right.
Sports, like you were born with it.
Yes. And so for me, it's like everything has been, just kind of the trajectory of my life. I've just been able to create my own lane and space. I always say I didn't see what I wanted to become, so I became her. And I tell my young girls the same thing. And so when my mom and I used to walk around Augusta 2 years ago, I saw a little girl, and I'm like, this little girl, she had a beautiful hair. She had an Afro puff, and she just looked like I want to say she didn't belong, right? And I was like, I love this because one day this little girl is going to be walking around with our brand on. You know, I've learned this beautiful game. It's opened up a lot of different doors, and I want to teach young girls. And so, you know, just with the relationships that my granddad's had and what he's, you know, been able to allow me to experience, I'm like, I need more young girls to experience this. So basically what it is, it's a 6-week program for girls 11 to 18, where we teach them life enrichment skills through the game of golf. And what makes us unique compared to other programs, because I know there's a lot of golf programs out there, is we have LPGA and PGA pros that come and teach the program. So you have to be certified. So we do a SOP training every year where our PGA and LPGA pros learn how to deal with our girls, because we have very different type of girls. Whether you're from Bankhead or Buckhead, they all come together, right? And the thing that makes our platform so unique is when they put that tee down in the ground or when they put that uniform on, they're all the same. And you can't tell. So whether it's a young lady who has autism that's in our program, or it's a young lady who, lives in Eagles Landing Country Club, you never know the difference between them. And the other side of it is like, okay, golf opens up doors, as y'all know, as you're starting to, you know, mature in life. But it's like, okay, so what happens like outside of golf? Like, how do you close this deal? So we teach financial literacy. We work on health and wellness. We have different speakers come in. Like we had one of Amanda Barbie, who's one of 5 female architects in the world, come and speak. Well, she went to UGA. This program is in your backyard. So even if they don't want to play golf, we still show them opportunities where they have to work in the space. So that's phase 1. Phase 2 came this year during the summertime, where we launched our very first PGA Junior League. And it is a 8-week league where the girls compete amongst themselves, right? So it's the first of its kind, because we had our girls who were coming, who have now found a love for the game of golf. But then it was like, well, I don't want to send them to compete against the girls from the country clubs and who have been playing since they were 2, 3, 4 years old. That's very discouraging, right? So we're like, okay, so we've surpassed 100 girls in our program in over 16 months. Let's put them all together and compete against each other. And it was the first of its kind with our league. 8 weeks was amazing. So to see the girls grow now, a couple of them have made their golf teams. We've had one girl go on to play college golf at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. So to see young women of color just be out there playing golf, to me is like, this is what I envision. So our goal is to grow it to 25,000 girls by 2030. And so it takes a lot of love and effort, but like, this is what it's all about, because golf is that sport that can do so many different things for you, you know, open up so many doors that we don't necessarily see, like I didn't have for like basketball or softball or any other sport. So
yeah, it's one of those sports that are, you know, typically like inaccessible for people of color. Because I used to like swim back in the day, but I never did it competitively because I didn't want to compete with like the white kids who had pools in their backyard and who had the money to, you know, be doing that since they were like, I don't know, 3 or 4.
Yeah, so. And that's my thing. That's like, you know, because our program is free. Everything in our league, from our program to our league, everything is free. And my thing was, what happens when you eliminate barriers to entry and you create equal opportunity, right? Like, what can happen and what is a possibility? So this is my thing. It's just like, golf is a very expensive sport. When you look at how much a lesson can cost for an LPGA, PGA Pro, for an hour, it could be $100 up to $300 per hour, right? Like, and so most of us don't grow up in communities where there's golf courses, unless you live like in an affluent neighborhood. Like, but you can go find a rec center, a basketball court down the street, but you can't find a golf course. So we have these kids, and it's very humbling for our pros, because they like, oh, go meet us on a putting green. They like, well, what is that? Or like, what? Like, grab your iron or grab your driver. They like, I haven't even seen a golf ball. I don't even know what a golf ball is. So
and all them words you just named, I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. Is like, and I feel like with golf now, we're about to see an uptick and swing in golf over the next couple of years, because y'all know how it goes. When a culture gets a hold of anything, we put jumper cables on it, and then it amplifies. So my thing is just like, I just want these young girls, especially like I was talking with one of the professors at Clark, like, hey, like, this is a resume builder. Like, you know, Clark had 40,000 plus applicants, was it last year or 2 years ago? And it's like, well, what makes them different? Well, this kid has golf on their resume. So it's a different type of discipline, a mental sport. Like golf, although it is a solo sport, it requires so much thought process behind it. And I tell people, and I tell y'all this too, if y'all really want to learn somebody, take them to play golf. You're going to see every emotion from how they're happy, like when they hit a good shot, when they hit a bad shot. Do they lie? Do they cheat? Do they steal? Like all of the ethical things you learn through the game of golf. Because it's like, if you're in a sand trap and I can't see you, are you going to rest your club down in the sand, which costs you a stroke? Or are you going to throw it out of there because I can't see you? It's an integrity game. And it's one of the few sports that is truly integrity. And so that's why I teach our girls, it's like, this is why golf is so important for you.
Okay, y'all, it's time to take a break, but we'll be right back. What I also love about this program, too, is the community you get to build among just like-minded people. I was so inspired seeing all these young Black girls laugh and play and talk about this new game. The bond was so clear.
Yeah, it's a sisterhood. And I like to say, like, I did Girl Scouts growing up. So I like to say it's the golf version of Girl Scouts. For us, it's like, it's that sisterhood. It's the camaraderie. It's the unity that you get playing the game. And it's like most of them probably won't play golf beyond this, but they have it in their repertoire. And when I look at this, I'm like, man, we're changing generations, because a young 11-year-old girl who never played golf now is playing golf can now introduce, when she gets older, her kids and her grandkids. And that's what's, for me, it's about, it's changing lineage, because that's what my granddad did. When he put a club in my hand, he opened up doors and pathways to endless opportunities. And so now it's like, all right, like I got my sister with me. And then we do a lot of other things outside of just the golf. So we do sleepovers for them. We took some of our girls to the Masters this year for them to see, and just to see like the leadership skills behind them. Because these young girls are bright. So like our average GPA is a 3.6. So it's not just like anybody that comes in.
Okay,
So you have to so in order to get to our program, they have to write a minimum of a 250-word essay as to why they want to apply to our program. And then the second phase is if they are accepted. The second part of it is they have to do an interview with our team, because it's not about, to me, it's not about the essay or the interview. It's about the life skills, because this is how you have to apply for a real job, right? You apply for the job, and then it's like if you get to the next phase, you do what an interview.
And the field does seem to be growing, because according to the National Golf Foundation, I think women represent 28% of on-course golfers, and then Black, Hispanic, and Asians represent 25%, and those are both like record high numbers. So it's interesting to see, that field grow.
Yeah, and it really took off during the pandemic, because it was the only sport that was accessible, right? Because it's outdoors. It's not a sport that we traditionally play, right? So then we saw uptick in women and girls go, I think it was like 5.7 million women and girls that were now introduced to the game of golf, because we had access now, right? For me, I'm like, we haven't even seen what it could do, because it's traditionally been an older man's game. So now you got women playing this, and it's like, oh, okay. So, and that's why I tell our girls, I'm like, I want you to be a participant and not a spectator. So when you get older and your companies have these scrambles, these invitations, I don't want you to decline it, because that's where the business deals, that's where the promotions, that's where things are getting done. So if y'all ever get an invite to golf, just show up.
I'm wondering, my first time on the golf course was hanging out with y'all. But Brooke and Deasia, have y'all ever been on a golf course?
No, I've done Top Golf. That's the closest we go get.
I gotta pull up to her shot. Like, I want y'all to experience it. And really, and that's why I said it's like the best of the best, but it's just like, it teaches you so much about yourself. Once you hear the sound of when you hit your first good shot, it's like an automatic addiction. It's like, I want to do this again. I want to do this again. And that's really what it's been. It's just like, I want to do this again. And so we have our girls, which the cool thing about it is we have 100% retention rate. So they constantly are showing up, because it's cool. It's something different. And it's like, you kind of got an edge on somebody else, because you're like, I play golf. They're like, ooh, that's a rich sport. Like, yeah.
So you're touching the lives of these younger girls too. So even like women like us, how would you recommend for us to enter into the field and like really start to dabble into golf?
Well, I'm gonna be biased, and I'm gonna say come to her shot. I'd love to be able to connect you guys with the LPGA or PGA Pro. We have some of the best in the world, literally. But I would say overall, though, is just don't turn down the invitation. That's the start there, right? Even if you can't play golf, it's the networking aspect of it. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, like, golf can change your life just being around the game.
Say more about the girls you were involved with. Is there one story that kind of stands out? And did you see something in them that reminded you of yourself when you were younger?
Oh, man, you asking me about 100 kids over the past. All right, how do I live in this? Okay, I would say we've got a couple. A very vocal advocate, Haley. She has autism, but she is, when I tell you, the most amazing young girl you'll ever see. She's like Miss Bria. And it's so weird they call me Miss Bria, because I'm like, bruh, I'm not that no. But she's like, Miss Bria, like, I want to be an ambassador. And so just to see how she shows up, and now Haley is trying out for her golf team. So to me, it's like, those are the success stories. And her mom, I wish we had it. Her mom wrote a very long email about this, how this has boosted her confidence, her morale, just who she is, and showing up as her true, authentic self, and embracing autism as a superpower, not a disability. For me, I'm like, this is what it's all about. If none of these kids ever play golf ever again in life, it's like we've left them better than what we found them. And that's what I always tell our parents. And they look at me like funny. I'm like, week 1, I was like, the kid you see now is not the kid you're going to see in week 6. And they're like, all right, cool.
Now, you talked about the various skills that the girls, learn throughout your program. But I'm wondering, what is something that you've learned about yourself since you launched this program, considering it's something that you probably would have benefited from, when you were younger?
I've learned to be patient. I've learned to give grace. I've learned to show up even when it's hard. There have been times where it's like, when you have a team that looks to you to make the decision, whether it's like as simple as like, hey, it's raining. What do? Do we cancel it? Do we go inside? Because we're still paying for this program, right? And I mean, that's probably a small example, but like, okay, let's figure it out. And there's not I don't know, right? And so I've had to step into a different space of leadership. Also just a space of just being calm to respond, right? So fun fact, I retired my mom this year. So my mom runs our foundation full time. So, she's over here. So, just understanding that like my mom doesn't move at the same pace that I move at, right? Like I'm go. She's like, whoa, wait a second. Like she's the behind the scenes person, but she's like, okay, this needs to be done and this needs to be done. And I'm so used to being in the entertainment and sports industry. And you guys know our lives are constantly moving at a fast pace. So to be able to slow down and say, okay, she didn't understand this because I didn't explain it, or I can't expect her to know what I'm thinking if I never open up my mouth and say anything, or like learning like what it means to be a leader. Because people talk about being leaders, but you never really know how to be a leader. And so it's time for you to really step up and you lead in a whole team of people, right? So those are some things. That's a great question, though. Yeah. I appreciate that.
So what's been harder for you, building credibility on the mic or building a nonprofit from the ground up?
Child. Lord. Oh, man. Okay, so this is like the teenager and the toddler. Like I would say it's kind of both, right? Because I think when I first started, the biggest thing I used to get is like, let me say something on the mic. I'm like, do I come to your job and ask you to type on your keyboard? Nah. Right. So that's a little petty in me. But I think this point, like, people are like, okay, you can stand in front of 100,000 people literally in the stadium. Like, that ain't easy, right? But I would say building a nonprofit, because where we are is in this brand identity space, is people looking as like, are y'all with? And we're like, no. So I think it's like having the humility to start over and being humble enough to say, okay, this is a 2-year-old organization and we're still growing and thriving. And so people don't know who we are, right? So I can show up and they're like, oh, that's Bria Janelle. She hosts da-da-da-da. I'd be like, this is her shot. And they're like, well, are y'all like, because it's new, right? And so I'm like, okay, this is like the beginnings where I had to go back in the hustle mode of my career. So I definitely would say getting that messaging, nailing it down has been a little interesting, but I would say building a foundation has definitely been a lot harder. Yeah.
Who are like some Black female golfers we should be watching out for? Because I do not watch the sport, but I will if I see some people that look like me,
I love this question. So Shasta Everhart, she's complete. I think she's on the Epson tour. Mariah Stackhouse, who's from Atlanta, grew up here, went to Stanford, really good golfer. I'm trying to think who else. Those are two of my friends. So of course I'd say Mariah. There's a couple. There's a tour called the Sapphire Tour. My mom and I had a chance to check it out a little earlier this year. And it's an up and coming tour just for HBCU students. And when I tell you like these young ladies are balling, like they're really, really good. So I would say, Mariah is one of the like creme de la cremes, right? Alexis Belton, she's also the World Long Drive champion. So, there's tons of, I won't say there's tons, because let me back up. In context, there's only been 9 Black women that have played on the LPGA tour since the conception in the 1960s.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So,
9?
Yeah, 9. Yeah, 9.
Wow.
9.
Not surprised.
And Shasta and Mariah are the current ones. So when you say that look like us, it's like, I can't name that many, but I do know. You know, like I can tell you tours that are coming up. There's another young lady. She's at Tennessee. She's really good. Bailey. I can't think of her last name, but she's really good. So like, it's like the next generation is who to watch out for, right? So they're more in college, but on the LPGA tour, maybe 1, maybe 2. So yeah.
Okay. So I do have to ask semi-personal question.
For sure.
My brother, he's been super into golfing. He's been trying to get me into it. One of my close friends here in Atlanta, he's taking me to golf courses here. As a woman in my 30s, what is the best way to prepare of entering into golfing? I know you said, like, you mentioned the program, the Hershot program, but what do I need to do physically to prepare?
So when you say physically, I mean, that's a very broad statement. So, like, what do you say physically? Like, what do you need? Like, equipment?
Yes, all the things.
Okay. So I would just say get your starter set of clubs, right? Get a starter set of clubs. Like, you don't have to get the whole kit and caboodle. A starter set has, I think, 8 clubs, either 5 or 7 clubs in it. And then just go to the driving range, because this is what my mom and them do. I'm going to give y'all a hack. Mom, I'm going to tell all your secrets over here, girl. Just go to the putting green, right? And 9 times out of 10, most golf courses are going to have predominantly men there. They're going to be like, oh, you're putting by yourself. You don't look like you know what you're doing. Let me help you. This is how my mom done finessed her golf lessons out here. You know, but seriously, but I would just go. You can also, if you want to do the driving range, a bucket of balls is anywhere between $5 to $10, depending on the course that you go to. And just start from there. Like, you don't have to be good, but somebody's going to see you and they're going to ask you something like, I don't know. And the thing about golf is, everybody has their own technique or their own way of doing things. Like, there's not like one way to swing a golf club. Just go out there and you can learn so much and meet new people. So
we need to take a trip. I think
y'all should. Like, we're surrounded by so many golf courses, and the city of Atlanta owns like 5 or 6 golf courses. Like,
do you have a favorite or one that we should try, for those who are like beginners?
Yes.
Like, what's one that we should go to?
I always like to tell beginners, go to what's called a par 3 course. A par 3 course is only 9 holes, and they're shorter holes. So there's not par 5. So you have your par 3, which means like you should, okay, do you guys know what?
Girl, we know what you're saying.
Okay. This is good because y'all looking at me like, are you speaking cursive or what? Okay, so a par 3 course has 9 holes. Typical traditional golf course has 18 holes, right? So I like to play, and this is where one of our programs is, at Charlie Yates, right? So Charlie Yates is right by East Lake. It's 9 hole. It's a shorter course, right? So a par 3 means that you should get it in the hole in 3 tries. A par 4 means you should get it in a hole in 4 tries. A par 5 means you should get it in a hole in 5 tries. So then, yes. So if you get it in 1 under, it's like, it's a birdie, right? If you get it, you par.
That's what that word means.
Anything over is a bogey, right? So you par means you're even, means your score doesn't change. If you birdie, means your score goes down 1. If you bogey, your score goes up 1. So you want to be lower. The lower you are in the negatives, the better you are. That's like the easiest probably way to explain it.
Now, this will be our last question, and it's something that we ask all of our guests here, so it's a bit of a fun one.
Okay.
So how are you so ATL?
Oh, I'm so ATL. I'm so ATL. Oh man, I'm from here. I literally am born and raised. I'm from Stonewall. I say Snellville, but I lived in Stone Mountain earlier. But for me, it's like I take the swag surf with me wherever I go. I'm that ATL. So we're in Chicago. They're like, this is the Midwest, and we are swag surfing. I had FLY out there literally performing swag surf. For me, it's the culture, the tradition. I feel like Atlanta is unique, unrepeatable. And for me, that's how I show up. I want to be one of one, or as Gunna says, one of none, whichever way you want to go.
Right.
But I mean, like I said, I'm from here, born and raised, and everything about me is so ATL. But I also want to be the person that leaves a mark in the city that can never be erased. Whether it's talking about my golf program or when you mention basketball or sports, you have to say my name. That's how I want to be remembered, and that's what makes me so ATL.
Well, thank you, Bria, so much for joining us. I definitely learned a lot, and we probably should take a trip to a golf course.
I think they should.
Science.
Yeah.
A little expensive.
Come on, AJ.
Right. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Okay, y'all. So before we go, it's time for Rent Free, where we talk about a story taking up real estate in our minds. So Brandy recently got her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I think I saw Monica, Kehlani, some of the folks from Moesha in the crowd. I think Issa Rae introduced or like formally inducted her, I believe, or gave a speech before she got the star as well. So what do we bring?
I'm here for this. I have grown up with Brandy. I've known about Brandy since I was alive.
Did you watch Moesha?
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I love me some Moesha. Back when it was on UPN.
Mm-hmm. Now, she was kind of insufferable on that show just a little bit. But, you know, iconic character.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't think I realized she was insufferable at the time. But when I rewatch episodes, I'm like, nah, Moesha, did it have to be all that? But she was one of the people that I just watched. She's been a constant.
I mean, I always loved Brandy. I mean, she's probably my second favorite artist of all time.
Ooh, that's
of all time?
After D'Angelo, right?
Yeah, after D'Angelo, of course. Yeah.
That's major.
And I coincidentally, her and D'Angelo share the same birthday, February 11th. Yeah. Just a little fun fact there. But yeah, she's the vocal Bible. I feel like she was really like a Black American sweetheart, you know, at the time, like in the early 90s. And she really helped change the trajectory of what like pop / R&B could really sound like, especially with her Full Moon album. Mm-hmm. The way she stacks vocals, like just one of the greatest voices of our time. And Moesha, Cinderella too, like so many things.
I still have Cinderella on VHS tape.
VHS.
Yeah, I don't even have no VCR. Is that?
Yes, that's how you play a VHS tape.
Oh wow! And this news also aligns with the release of her memoir that's called Phases, and she's dropping some tea.
Oh, is it out yet?
Yeah, it's out.
Okay,
well, one of the main. No. I need to get it actually, but it just came out like maybe a few days ago.
Okay.
It's written.
Writing it down.
I am. I'm
written in part with Jared Kennedy, who's a prominent entertainment journalist based in LA. He worked for the LA Times, and one of the stories that have been popping recently is her relationship with Wanya from Boyz II Men.
Okay, I saw a headline, but I didn't go deep, so please fill us in.
So she talks about how, you know, she was 16 and he was maybe 22.
Too damn old.
And Wanya of Boyz II Men, obviously.
Fame.
Yeah, and he was just here with New Edition too. So yeah, she talks about how she was 16 and he was like 22 when they started dating, and you know, he would be manipulative, like she used the word like verbatim, like, I felt like he saw me as conquerable. Mm-hmm. Which is not, I've been through a situation like that before, and I feel like, you know, they just see you as like an object and not like as a human being, because he was the adult in this situation and she was, you know,
how did they meet?
The minor. Now, see, I didn't read the book. Yeah, she just mentioned how, you know, it was an unhealthy relationship, and how I guess she kind of felt like he was trying to mold her in some way, and sometimes she felt like she had no choice but to do whatever he said, because, you know, she felt like he would leave if she just, you know, didn't go with what he wanted. Yeah. And so obviously they shared that hit single Broken Hearted from the 90s too.
So she felt like she was being manipulated by him.
And they did. Yeah. They met on tour. So Brandy opened for Boyz II Men in the mid 90s, and I think maybe the relationship started from there.
I mean, it's a pretty significant gap at that age, right?
I think so.
I don't know. I mean, I guess some people wouldn't think it was a lot, but
no, it is. I mean, definitely it is.
Yeah, 16 and 22.
Because now we're getting messy. I don't mean to get messy, but wasn't there some controversy around, like, what's that other singer?
Adina Howard.
Yes, I remember there being some type of love triangle during that time, and I don't know, but.
And obviously Brandy is significantly younger than Adina.
Yeah.
And Wanya.
But Adina's my age.
Is she?
I mean, she might not be.
I love that. I like that song though. What is it called? Freak Like
That.
That was her one hit.
Well, did she do t-shirt and panties?
Oh yeah, t-shirt and my panties on. Lord have. Is that with Jamie Foxx?
I don't even know that.
Oh man, that was it 90s, early 2000s. Ain't no telling.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, I'm glad that Brandy is telling her story in her way, the way she wants to do it.
I want to read it now. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna read that. It's on my list. Look, I want Miss Brandy to be happy because she's done a lot for me and growing up. I still have my Moesha doll. It has like the braids.
Well, I mean, there was a Moesha doll.
Yes. But it wasn't really braids. They did the best they could do, Mattel at the time.
Right.
But it was something coming out of her hair that was, supposed to be braids. And my dad has a favorite Brandy song. I haven't told him this. I should. We used to do road trips from Memphis to Atlanta when he was taking me to school at Spelman. And my dad loves music. When my mom and me would fall asleep, he would go at it. And one time I woke up and he was singing to the top of his lungs, "I Want to Be Down" by Brandy.
Oh, I love that.
My eyes open like, wait a minute, Daddy, let me find out
Right.
that you are a big Brandy fan. So all generations seem to love Miss Brandy.
Yes, we do. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well, that's all the time that we have with you today. So we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to It's UATL. UATL is a source for Black culture and community in Atlanta, powered by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and its supporters. The show is hosted by Nedra Roan, Deasia Page, and me, Naja Parker.
If you liked the episode, be sure to follow us and leave us a rating and review. It really helps. It's UATL wouldn't be possible without our lead producer, Isabel Kirby McGowan, and producer Kara Schillen. Extra support from Ron Williams. Our executive producer is Gavin Godfrey. Megan Nadolski is our senior producer, and Samantha Stamler is the head of audio.
Special thanks to Janelle Davis, the managing editor of UATL for the AJC. Want more UATL? Be sure to join the community at uatl.com. See you next week.